diary. I've lost everything again.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing all right today. It has been another rough start to the day for trading. Bitcoin, you can see, is actually below $30,000 at the time of making this video. Now, incredibly, guys, Bitcoin actually, you can see right here so far, hit a low today of $29,350. We had our target set at $29,364. I posted this in the Telegram group. We literally were only $14 off from the potential bottom, but the question is this actually the bottom? Are we due for a relief rally? Because we had been waiting for the CPI reports to come in. They came in. They were anticipating around an 8.1% estimate, and instead we got 8.3%. This really wasn't significant enough to have that investor confidence, and nevertheless, you are seeing that so far, as of today, anything can change, but as of right now, we do have the stock market opening red. Bitcoin is falling, so like I said, anything can change by the end of the day, by the end of the week, but if we just have a look right here, not only did we have 8.3%, we had core CPI, which excludes food and energy, also weighing higher than expected, rising 6.2%. Shelter costs, which comprise about 1/3 of the CPI, rose at the fastest pace since 1991, and inflation-adjusted earnings continue to decline for workers, falling 2.6% over the past year due to the surging cost of living, on top of the fact that we've also had this fiasco going on with UST and Luna. You could see Luna has fallen from literally $120 all the way down right now as I'm making this video to $1.85, and we have UST sitting at around 39 cents. Now, this is a coin that is supposed to be pegged to the dollar. So if you've already made it this far, well, then you are a trooper, because I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that have turned off all the content at this point because, you know, these are definitely some scary times that we're living in, guys. Now, before we get into the charts and everything, as someone who has been in this space for quite some time, guys, remember, I've been doing this for over 6 years. I can tell you personally, none of this has me shaken. It does suck when you're holding, you know, Bitcoin and you see your portfolio fall, I suppose, right? But that's why you also keep a cash position. I do have cash on hand. I have not fully deployed it just yet in case we do get some of these crazy numbers that people have talked about. But there is a lot of stuff we got to go over today on top of the fact, for example, right here, what's going on with this chart? We need to talk about this. Should we even care about what's happening over on Bitfinex? And also, there was sort of an alarming clause in the recent Coinbase latest SEC filings that came out that had people a little freaked out about their money. I wish I had some good news today. We might have some good news if you stick around. We'll find a way to flip this and you know, inject a little bit of hopium, but we have to be very realistic about what is happening right now. Bitcoin is seeing something it's never seen before. Bitcoin has never seen a recession. It's never seen a true bear market in stocks. Remember, Bitcoin was birthed out of the 2008 financial crisis, right? So it's really never seen those types of turbulent times. So super quick, let's talk about what's going on. If you're not subscribed, consider it. And if you're still watching this video, I love you. You're awesome. I mean, you know, I could just stop making these videos, you know, oh, it's a bear market, but you guys know I don't do that. I stick it out just like everyone, because these are the times that you buckle down, you learn from your mistakes, you find coins that you are interested in. And now, I'm not saying to buy altcoins right now. By the way, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, if you believe in something, now is that opportunity. For me, it's always been Bitcoin. And you guys know that. It's always been Bitcoin on this channel. Sure, we dabble in altcoins, but when I talk about small percentages of my portfolio, I'm talking 1%, maybe 2% enough if I'm feeling bullish. Bitcoin is always the core holding, but let's dive in. Let's have a look. So currently, Bitcoin is bouncing off of the level. I'm actually incredibly surprised how it is bouncing off this level. You know, obviously, if you were looking to take a trade, this would have been the trade level to take, but I'm not going to tell you to do that because we really need to watch what the stocks are doing. See, right now they're flipping green, right? So this could be the opportunity right here. Not saying you should take that. We need to keep looking at what's going on right now because Bitcoin has literally touched the absolute bottom of its long-term support. This is the support that's been holding us since December of 2020. As you guys can see right here, the significance of this level. If we lose this level, guys, there's really not much. I mean, probably right here, right around that sort of $19,000, $20,000 level. There's a little level right here, actually, I'm sorry, at around 24, but really not much more below that, guys. And you can see on the long-term trend, even though this is on the weekly, we really, really need Bitcoin to get back up to around $31,400. If it doesn't do that by the end of this week, then we have officially broken the structure. And this is what I started talking about in my video yesterday. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if we do go into these, these prolonged bear trends, they can last a while. Unless something crazy comes out, stocks pump and the Fed stops raising rates. I don't know what could possibly happen, as far as what they're doing. But unfortunately, we are not seeing crypto as that sort of safety mechanism outside of even stocks or other investments, right? So it is sort of unfortunate to see this, but it also is a learning experience for everyone, including myself. I've never seen Bitcoin in this environment before either. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm some kind of expert. I've only ever seen Bitcoin in a scenario where stocks were going up and inflation was rising. I've never seen ever in my life, what happens when the Fed, tapers. I wasn't even interested in trading crypto back in 2008. All I wanted to do was party in college. Come on, that's all, So this is definitely something that we're going to learn. We're going to figure this out together. Now, I did point out right here however, that there was this box right here. There was this CME futures gap. Now that gap is up at around 35,150, but I don't want to burst anyone's bubble here. But considering that we're already touching the $29,000 level, there actually is another CME gap that I never thought we were ever going to come back and touch. Well, we're getting close to it. And this CME gap, in order to close, would actually have to bring Bitcoin down to about $24,610. There's actually a few more gaps if we go lower, but I'm just going to sort of show you the ones that are close right now. So there is that possibility, right? Keep in mind that it could go either way. I still anticipate that we should see some kind of a bounce at these levels because even though we did fall this morning, look at this, guys, we are still being supported by this downward sloping trend. Now, this is obviously a short-term play, but I do anticipate that Bitcoin should at least make an attempt to come back up to these levels right here, which could put Bitcoin at around $37,000, right? We do have a little bit of overhead resistance as well. But one thing that I want to point out is that these Bitfinex longs are at the highest levels that they have ever been, or at least since they were able to be recorded. Now, just to kind of play devil's bullish advocate, if that makes any sense, you could see right here when we peaked, it was July 19th of 2021, right? You could see, and it's even higher than that right now. What happened on July 19th of 2021? Well, if we go back here, look at where July 19th was, right here at this absolute bottom. And then what did we do after that? Well, Bitcoin went from 30,000 all the way up to, $70,000. Now, I'm not saying the same thing is going to happen, but it is very interesting to see that the last time that we had, the longs this high, we actually did see a major rally following that, right? In fact, it kind of danced around for like 2 days and then just started going parabolic. So is that what's going to happen today? We have to see, guys. Now, obviously, as you guys can see currently, according to Binance, we do have UST trading at around 44 cents. Now, this was pretty crazy, guys, what happened. There was a lot of stuff. As you guys know, I've never actually talked about Luna on this channel ever. I've never mentioned this coin. I heard a lot of other people talking about it. Now, look, I'll be the first one to admit there was a lot of money that was made from the run up from here to the top, okay? And maybe, I did miss out on a lot of these gains. Okay, fair enough. We'll have to pay attention next time. But there was always this sort of thing about these algorithmic stable coins. I've always been slightly cautious about them, which is why I was kind of afraid to really bring it up on the channel. And as you guys can see, there are a lot of people that are literally wrecked right now because of this. So before I actually move on to the news, I just wanted to say something super quick. Today's a little bit more of a rant video, as you guys can tell. But essentially, what I think is happening is people are realizing the risks that are involved in especially, these types of altcoins. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about an altcoin that was sitting at the number 10 position, okay? So this was something that was supposed to be a blue chip. It was supposed to be a trusted, verified project, right? Had a lot of big backers in it. And even this can happen to a coin like Luna, which is getting back to why I say allocate to these altcoins as basically you can lose all your money risks, essentially. Like when I buy an altcoin, literally, I'm not kidding, I just assume that money's gone forever, literally. And that's why I only invest maybe 1% to 2%, into an altcoin. If that altcoin grows, then maybe the percentage, goes higher of my portfolio because the altcoin is doing well. But if I lose everything, I've only lost 1% of my portfolio. It's not going to break my bank. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'm always very, very cautious about, specifically altcoins on this channel. There are some out there that I think have decent fundamentals, but when you're talking about Bitcoin, doing what it's doing right now, and look, it is trying to break up right now. Interesting. I am curious to see if the stocks do pump on this news. Could be that bottom. We could have called it, guys. There's a potential that we could have called this short-term bottom. I am making this live right now. So, it's not full confirmation just yet. Anything could change. But right now, so far, that was a pretty damn good call, guys. Just saying. So if you guys are interested in learning how to trade, you can check out the tutorial popping up above. We did nail this. It is pumping right now. So that is that situation moving forward. But essentially what happened with Luna, he put this out, Do Kwon, and Alex Kruger said, too long, didn't read, not deploying more capital as stated, no bailout, no recovery plan, and no mea culpa. I'm not familiar with that phrase. After his mistakes blew up billions of dollars and destabilized the entire industry, could at least acknowledge the mistakes. And then there's this thing floating around from this guy, Ryun Soo Sung, saying, FYI, I'm not suggesting it was a rug pull, but Do Kwon knew it was coming, terraforms, labs dissolved. I don't know what this is all about, but that could just kind of add to that conspiracy. But I'll tell you what, guys, what we literally have just seen with the UST stablecoin, that essentially opened the door for regulation. It truly did for stablecoins. And you can even see what Janet Yellen had to say right here.
Note that there was a report just this morning in the Wall Street Journal that a stablecoin known as Terra USD experienced a run and had declined in value. And, so I think that simply illustrates that this is a rapidly growing product and that there are risks to financial stability, and we need a framework that's appropriate.
And just getting back to this, I have seen a lot of people saying like, oh, well, that's what you get for buying a shit coin and all these other things. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I do feel for the people. Look, everyone going through this, there's some people that have actually lost their life savings, literally everything. They put everything into this. And while honestly, it was stupid if you did something like that, at the same time, it still hurts. And I understand. I've been there, man. I've seen some really crazy things. I don't want to get into the dark side of crypto and trading, but I mean, people contemplating suicide and things like that. Listen, before we go any farther, that is insane, okay? If you're in a position, maybe you were holding Luna, maybe you didn't, I don't know if you did. Guys, it's not worth your life. It's not worth your health. Money comes and goes. You can make money anywhere. You could literally, very funny, go get a job at McDonald's. You literally could. Like all jokes aside, right? There are always opportunities to make money out there. So if you did lose money in this crash, then the only thing I could tell you is just take it as a lesson, right? The best lessons in life are the ones that we live through, right? You could read all the books in the world, but when it happens to you, that's when it really hits home. That's when it settles in. We will have another bull run. We will have $1 million Bitcoin in our lifetime. And I don't care. I'll keep saying that. Even if Bitcoin goes to $3,000, I still think we're going to see $1 million Bitcoin in our lifetime. It's just right now we're going through very, very tough times. And I cannot stress that enough. Please, please be safe out there, guys. Okay? I love you. You're awesome. If you feel like you need to talk, we have the Crypto Zombies Telegram community. There's lots of people you can hang out and talk about. There's no reason for you to feel crazy. I want to just stress that, okay? I really don't think money matters that much when you're talking about, your own life and things like that. So I just want to say that. But there was this clause that came out in the SEC filing from Coinbase that right here you can see it says, moreover, because custodially held crypto assets may be considered to be the property of a bankruptcy estate. In the event of bankruptcy, the crypto assets we hold in custody on behalf of our customers could be subject to bankruptcy proceedings, and such customers could be treated as our general unsecured creditors. In other words, when they eventually go bankrupt, they will use I don't know what I just did right there. When they eventually go bankrupt, they will use your crypto to bail themselves out. Now, Brian Armstrong did reply to this and say, there's some noise about our disclosure we made about how we hold crypto assets. Your funds are safe at Coinbase, just as they've always been. We have no risk of bankruptcy. However, we include a new risk factor based on an SEC requirement called SAB 121, which is newly required disclosure for public companies that hold crypto assets. So apparently he's just saying it's something you have to put in there. You have to say that, right? At the end of the day, though, guys, if you are worried about situations like this, what do I say? Not your keys, not your coins, right? So if you're worried about your Bitcoin being on exchanges, get it off the exchange, put it in a cold storage hardware wallet, and leave it there. Okay, just leave it there. Only take out what you need when you need it. That way, it's disconnected, right? It's not a hot wallet. No one can get to it. Because essentially, when you're lending it to them, it is like paper Bitcoin, right? It's just a bunch of IOUs, really, when you think about it. So certainly be safe out there, guys, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to make a judgment call on whether or not this is a true bounce because it's too early in the morning. Stocks just opened. Futures were green. Stocks came out, they dumped, then they flipped and they went green. So ultimately, basically, is CPI getting better? I suppose 0.2%, point whatever it is, but ultimately, it really wasn't good enough for what people really wanted to see, and they're not going to stop raising rates until we can see something more significant. They said that their goal is 2%. If we're not at 2%, there's absolutely no reason for the Fed to stop what they're doing. So it could continue pushing down stocks, pushing down crypto. And at the end of the day, if you are in over your head or you have too much money or you're afraid you're going to lose it all, whatever, you're not going to lose your Bitcoin. Trust me, Bitcoin is here to stay, my friends. It's proven the test of time, but it is going through some turmoil right now, as is the whole world, as is all the markets. It's not just crypto. It's not like, oh, they're just picking on the crypto people. No, guys, this is happening worldwide right now. This is something that we're all dealing with. We're all in this together, right? So ultimately, I do think that this was a good area for a bounce. I don't understand why we can at least have a bounce. I did say 37 on the wedge, but if we actually take this level right here, you can see this resistance would actually bring us up to about 34,300. We'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see because ultimately, and, I hate to say this because a lot of people, they'll like shit on TA and be like, oh, well, TA doesn't do anything. No, actually, TA is an amazing tool. To be honest with you, TA to me is better than fundamentals. And a lot of the times, have you ever heard traders or people, they'll say, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. You know what I mean? Usually the news is just something to explain why what's happening is happening. The charts will tell you, and right now the charts are telling you that there's really not that interest in Bitcoin, there's not that interest in stocks, and although I say you shouldn't trade news events, fundamental events, ultimately right now, guys, we know the US, we know how strong they are when it comes to the dollar. They're fighting inflation. The dollar, the DXY, compared to these other currencies, is obviously skyrocketing. Will we ever be able to truly fight inflation? I don't think so. No, I don't think we can ever truly stop it. I think that they just want to get it down to sort of a level where it's normal again, 2%, 3%, something like that. We're not seeing that right now. Ultimately, until they get it to where they want it to be, it's not going to really change much about the market sentiment. And people are going to continue to panic sell, continue to sell off on these riskier assets. Bitcoin is a risky asset for most people. It's only been around for 13 years. I mean, guys, gold is selling off. Gold had a 10% sell off, and gold has been around for 5,000 years, literally, as money. You know what I mean? So just be safe out there, friends. We're going to stick it out this whole time, but I am going to tell you this, and I don't like shorting Bitcoin. I'm not going to short here just because it doesn't make any sense to short at actual literal, multi-year support. But what I will tell you is if we do have this bounce and we do get rejected around that $34,000, $35,000 level, then the name of the game, unfortunately, is going to be short the bounces until the reversal. So I hope that that's not the type of content that will upset you guys on this channel. But if you are looking to trade, the trades are going to be shorting the bounces during a bear market. That's what you do. You short the bounces, as opposed to longing the support. So I'm not saying we're there yet. I'm not saying we need to start shorting. I don't know. But what I am saying is you will have to switch that mind frame because we are getting to those levels. Traditionally, Bitcoin's been in a bear market since it was below 20%. I don't count that for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 20 to 30% swings like breakfast, like nothing, right? So at the end of the day, guys, if you take away anything from this, I personally believe that what we saw happen today, especially with Terra Luna, is ultimately that when we do have the crypto rebound, I think you're going to see a lot of people realize that all the things that they were saying about Ethereum, even though Ethereum isn't, as fast and it does have high gas fees, we don't really see these types of problems over, on Ethereum. And obviously, I think it's just going to be a giant advertisement for Bitcoin. And a lot of people that I know that have gone through bear markets, and I'm actually one of them too. I used to be all into altcoins. If you guys remember back in 2018, we were, right, only talked about altcoins. And we did very well. We actually did very well because after the 2017 Bitcoin peak, Bitcoin started falling, but then the altcoins went on a major rally. And we actually did make a decent amount of money. But I personally held for too long, right? I was way too convicted in these altcoins. And I watched some of my altcoins go to either break even or actually lower when they had been up like 50x, right? So you just let the greed get to you. And that's what you don't want to do this time. And what ended up happening was you slowly start to realize that these altcoins are very speculative plays, right? They are. That's why trying to get in early is the best, right? If you can get in even on some of these sales, right? Before they even come out to the exchanges, that's kind of like the safest time because, you're kind of sort of almost guaranteed, although I don't know in all cases. But for the most part, you do become more of a Bitcoin maxi. Now, I've told people I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I do hold still some altcoins. I do still hold altcoins right now, but it's nothing compared to my Bitcoin position. Unfortunately, the things to focus on right now would be Bitcoin and Tether, essentially, which even Tether is actually struggling with its peg a little bit at around 99 cents. But, ultimately at the end of the day, guys, everything will be all right. This too shall pass. If you need to take a break, step away, walk away, all good. I understand. At the end of the day, I still think that these markets are the best time for you to educate yourself, to learn. I find that sticking them out will actually make you a better trader, a better investor, a better hodler, right? You won't have as much urge to panic sell, excuse me, specifically when we're talking about Bitcoin. But that's about it for me today, guys. Like I said, we could go over charts all day. I really just wanted to have a discussion with you guys. I wanted to let you know that, yeah, times could be getting a little bit rough, possibly, maybe. I do still think we're going to get some kind of a relief bounce, but if that bounce can't get up to a level of confluence, then short the bounces is going to be the name of the game for a while until we flatten out, and if it is a true bear, like the previous bears, like the way that they say, then yeah, it could stretch out for a year. Hopefully it's not that long, but it could be. But on the bright side, here's the bright side. If you do think we're in a bear market, which I think at this point most people would agree we are in a bear market, we've already been in it since November, or you can even take it from this year. So you could say that we've already been in a bear market, maybe for 6 months to 8 months or whatever you want to call it. So in that sense, we're already like halfway in it, right? So I love you guys. I don't know what you guys took away from this video. Not much was planned. I didn't really have much to go over. I really just wanted to have a conversation with you guys. I love you. You're awesome. Be safe out there. I'll be here. You don't have to watch every day. I get it. If you want to get away from crypto, I'll be here though. If you ever want to catch up the news, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be trading. We're going to be doing what we do every single day. And of course, guys, definitely be safe out there. I love you. You're awesome. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. If you do want to learn to trade, use a paper account, for Christ's sake, and don't use high leverage. Practice first before you start using your real capital. But if you do want to learn, check these videos popping up right here, right now. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.